Connect here, Justin. And I wanted to connect you today with my Grief Connect, especially nowadays when things are getting really tragic and a lot of people are losing loved ones. I wanted to share with you something that hopefully at some point in your grief process might be able to give you a little glimmer of hope or peace in your grief process, because it's something that brings me some peace in my grief process. And that relates to a story about dimes. So I'm probably going to share with you guys a little bit of different videos that talk about dime stories with me. And dimes are really significant because in my family we believe that when we find a dime that it's my sister and that she's visiting us. And so, I want to just say not everyone is spiritual, or not everyone believes in an afterlife or spirits and angels, and this video is not necessarily here to make you believe that. I don't really believe in forcing anyone to believe in something, especially when you cannot prove it necessarily. But one thing I want people to think about is with these kinds of stories, like the one that I'm going to share with you, even if it is a coincidence, even if it wasn't divine intervention or my sister coming to visit me in these moments, at the end of the day, if I'm wrong, I'm not going to know, And I think it brings me so much peace here on earth that to choose to believe that and it doesn't harm anybody else, I think it's something that's really helpful in the grief process. So I wanted to share you one particular dime story that I found to be super interesting. And it had to do with one of my swimming hole hikes that I did with a couple of my closest friends. And me and my buddy, we used to always go find different swimming holes off the beaten path to, just hike and see waterfalls. And we really geek out on that type of stuff in nature. So it so happened that I went this one time with two of my buddies who turned out to be brothers themselves. And we were at this really, really cool spot. And we get to a certain part of it, which was, I guess, like the destination that we planned out to get to, because we found it on an app, swimmingholes.org actually, which is a really cool app. And when we got to this one part, it was a part where we can actually go in the water and swim, because not all the parts were like that on our hike. And I remember staying back because I was putting down our bags and stuff, and two brothers, they jumped out in front of me, and they were just randomly talking to each other. It wasn't anything, dramatic. They weren't like hugging each other or anything like that. It was just two brothers getting to hang out in the water and enjoy this really cool spot of nature. And in my head, which happens a good amount of times, I flashed to my sister and the sadness that I had actually in the fact that that's a moment I won't be able to share with her. And it wasn't devastating of a feeling at the moment. That devastation is always felt, but it really hit me in that moment. Like, it was just so beautiful to watch my two buddies, just get to be brothers together. And I was there, as like a brother to them, but, it's never the same as your own sibling. And as that thought came to my head, I went to turn around and put down the bag that I had. And I found in the sand, because there was like a little spot of sand, and this was not a very populated area. We had just gotten there, and there was nothing on the floor. There was no debris. This was just a really random spot on the grass where there was a little bit of sand. And I found two dimes right next to each other. And like I said, my family always believed that dimes was a representation of my sister being there with you. And in that really specific moment, I really felt like she was. And it really helped continue my day. And I had actually a really great day. Again, that is one of my dime stories. One of my stories about how my sister comes to let me know that she's still with me. And again, you could choose to believe what you want. And that's fine with me. My belief hopefully doesn't harm anybody else. But I really believe that, in that moment she was there with me. And hopefully you, as a person who maybe lost somebody, can start to pay attention to different moments in your life where you think of your lost one, and maybe there are signs around you that they're with you. And hopefully that helps bring you some peace to know that we are all still here. One of the laws of thermodynamics is energy is neither created nor destroyed. So I like to believe that we're all just one part of the wave, and whether we're physically here or not, there are signs that we're all still connected. So I hope this story was interesting to you and brought you a little insight into one of the ways that I help myself grieve the love of lost ones, especially my sister. So again, I hope that you're doing well wherever you are, and if you're not, I hope you know to control what you can control, which is your breathing and centering yourself and how you feel and how you take on the day. And keep on working on yourself so you can be a special connect to somebody, because everyone needs a special connect.